Hi everyone, and welcome to the Gemini April 2022 mid-month love, health, and wealth reading. This is I'm Illuminated Tarot, a place for you to better connect with and illuminate your own personal spiritual importance, or better put, to find where you fit. So welcome Geminis. For all of you who are new and returning, thank you so much for watching. For those of you who are returning, thank you so much for your continued support. I appreciate it so much. It's very hard for me to even express how much I appreciate it. For those of you who are new, thank you so much for watching. So this reading here is a little different from my past mid-month readings, where we're going to look specifically at love, health, and wealth. This is meant to be a quick reading where we kind of just get a chance mid-month to touch base again with ourselves, to be able to carry that self-awareness forward as we continue to focus on authentically connecting our unique self with our external environment. So, Gemini, let's go ahead and start with love. Let's see what Spirit would like you to be aware of for the second half of this month around the energy of love. And I hope you've all had a wonderful Aries season. It is the kind of new year of the Zodiac. It's been a fun one. I really have enjoyed April. I knew it was going to be kind of a fun, fast-paced month, but it's also a month that's had a lot of social energy for me, which I've appreciated. So I hope you've enjoyed that as well, because Geminis, we all know that you are definitely social creatures. I have a lot of Gemini in my chart as well, so I definitely understand what that feels like. Okay, so we have make the effort. It says, great love is worth taking the steps you're guided to take. I love this. Okay, I'm going to pull an additional card here, and then we'll get clarifiers and dive into the message. So I do love make the effort. Great love is worth taking the steps you're guided to take. You know, sometimes, Gemini, we can get to that point where either we're maybe taking somebody for granted, like we've been in a relationship a long time and we kind of, we stop really making the effort anymore. Or it can get to the point where maybe you're in a new relationship and you're wondering, like, gosh, is this really, like, do I need to put in that much effort? And Spirit's saying, yeah. Great love is worth the effort. You know, great love doesn't come around all the time, and it's something that we do have to work at. Just like being proficient at anything else, love and keeping an open channel in love is like working a muscle. We have to make sure that we are really working on how much we are giving love and how open we are to receiving love. So we have be willing to express love. It says express love to receive love. Love that. Number 6, and number 6 actually harnesses the energy of love in numerology. And then we have actions speak loudly. Express your love through actions. So, okay, Gemini, this is a very clear message of that this second half of the month here, it's all about taking action from a place of love. Make that effort. Do what you need to do to really make your love known, whether this is planning something or this is doing the small day-to-day tasks that you know the other person in this relationship love that you do. It's about making that effort. And number 49 breaks down to the number 13, which is further breaks down to number 4. Harnesses the energy of kind of death and transformation and building firm foundations at the same time. And I like that it also includes the eagle here, which kind of brings in that scorpionic energy through the number 13, which is death and transformation. So in the tarot. So there is something here around transforming your relationship through the actions that you take. Making the effort, but making the effort in a way that you understand that the expression of love is going to help create the loving environment that you seek for yourself. So let's go ahead here. Now pull some additional clarifiers. Okay, so we have strength, which is number 8. It also could be that you're dealing with a Leo. I always love the strength card. The strength card harnesses the energy of staying strong, but staying strong in the awareness of grace. That we kind of harness our internal beast, so to speak, to be able to have the strength to maybe do the sappy things or to dig deep to, instead of maybe arguing with somebody or picking that fight about how come you didn't fold the laundry or you didn't remember that we had something scheduled, that instead you get past that and gracefully instead you're the one that steps up and says, the other person might have forgot to schedule something. I'm going to step up and be the one to schedule that, or I'm going to be the one to fold the laundry this week. And it's amazing how sometimes just by doing these things, that expressing love through the actions we choose to take, not even so much the words that we choose to say, that actions do speak more loudly than words. I mean, that is why that saying is kind of very integral or so ingrained in us, because it's not what I say, it's what I do. And when somebody sees you doing that, that's when they get to feel the energetic support. They're being physically supported through your actions. And that's when we get to actually see love take physical form. It's a really beautiful thing. And then we have the Five of Wands. Now the Five of Wands can denote a little bit of like a kind of a chaotic environment. So perhaps some of you, it could be chaotic environment, can also be competition. So for some of you out there, there could be that there is some competition around the person that you love, or that it's just very busy for them. And that this is allowing you to really make that effort, and that even if things are a little chaotic, or even if there tends to be kind of a competitive energy, that you get a chance to kind of cut through that with you leading from a place of love through your actions. And that you're the one who's going to stand out because of that. That strength that comes through, kind of the strength that comes through that allows even order to be brought to the chaos. That's really going to make a big difference to the other person in your life. So you're really being asked for the second half of this month to be aware of your actions and ground your actions from a strong place of love for the other person, or a strong place of love towards whatever you want to make an effort towards that you love. So if you are not in a romantic, let's say romantic partnership, or you don't want one, that this could be also about making the effort towards what you love. So maybe there is something around this energy of, I really want to do this, but maybe it's a highly competitive field or a highly competitive passion or hobby. And this is saying, have the strength and keep making the effort. Because again, our actions towards, we'll keep showing others what we love to do. And when you notice, when people love what they do, that's what makes them stand out in a work environment, or when they decide to kind of take on a random side hobby or passion. It's that person who can't stop talking about it, that whether or not they are wildly successful what they do, it's their passion that shines. And it comes from, again, them taking action, expressing what they do, participating in what they love. So for those of you, this could be two sides of the coin for love, whether it's in a romantic partnership and you're being asked to step up and really support your partner, show how much you love the other person, and do so through your actions. Or if this is moving towards something that you love, like a career or a hobby or a passion project, to really continue to make the effort towards working with that and supporting it and continuing to grow in it. Even again, if it feels like it's like that it could be a little chaotic, or that there's a lot of competition and you feel like, well, what's even the point? Well, the point is you will again be the one that, as you see, everybody's working with their passions here. You'll see where your passion fits in among theirs. And actually, you might even show yourself to be more suitably fit to work with that passion more than others might. So kind of being asked to kind of jump in the fray here, whether it's in the relationship or whether it's moving towards passion project. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and we're going to take a look at the energy of health. And I'm going to have a disclaimer here that I am not a medical practitioner, so this is not going to be around health in that way. This is going to be around taking more of a look at your holistic health and any blocks that might be coming up more in the realm of spiritual health, around our emotions and around our grander kind of spiritual purpose, what might be coming up to prevent you from really being healthy in that sector. So Gemini, let's take a look. What does Gemini need to know about their health? Oh, I love it. We have happy family, number 4. So there is something to be said here for some of you about really in making the effort in love or in a relationship or in a home environment, that there is something around this about family for you, about building this sense of, 4 is the firm foundation, and there is kind of the 10 of Cups coming through here from the tarot, which kind of is also the happy family card. There's this element of a lot of focus on that for you for the second half of this month. So I'm going to pull some clarifiers. We're going to see if there are any blocks around this to kind of be aware of. But otherwise, I mean, it's looking pretty good. We have 5 of Wands again. Okay, interesting. Really, really interesting here. And then we have the 10 of Wands. All right. Okay, so I get this feeling there's a little bit of a tug of war here between 5 of Wands, which can be a little bit of chaos. It can be a little like one of those things of too many cooks in the kitchen, too many things going on, or you feel like there's too much competition. 10 of Wands is when we are carrying a heavy burden. This is when we feel like we're taking on too much. And it's also the completion of a cycle, so it can also denote you finally getting to that point where you realize, I have to put down. I have to put down some of this load and just pick up what I need to move forward with. So around the happy family, where I'm seeing there's possibly a block, is where there is somebody in the family that feels right now, or in some type of dynamic that you see as the happy family, somebody feels like they're carrying more than the other. That there is something around this kind of chaotic energy, somebody kind of out there doing something, and the 10 of Wands is somebody having to carry everything. So for this month, it's really, or for the second half of this month, to really clear the energy around just feeling good in, now again, happy family doesn't mean that you actually have to have, your own family. This could even be you in a family dynamic, you with your parents, you with other people around you, that there is this feeling of when you're being asked to express love through action, that you might have to take a look at where you can put down the burden or help somebody else put down their burden in that relationship. And to help again with the kind of chaotic energy, this kind of competitive energy that's coming in here, to realize somebody doesn't have to deal with that all by themselves. Somebody doesn't have to sit here and carry themselves through this chaos. If it's a romantic partnership, you two are in this together, and you need to really be aware of that somebody needs to pick up the other half, because this is 5 and this is 10. So there's that feeling of somebody having half of the burden and somebody feeling like they're carrying all of the burden. That can also be where maybe you let go of half of this, and somebody who wants to go out and maybe follow a passion project or something, it's almost like the shifting of weight. One person maybe picks up more as the other person follows a passion, or vice versa, but there needs to come to a place of equilibrium, that one person isn't doing everything. That's strongly coming through here. Kind of have to share the load. Share the load. You don't, and if this is you, let's say in a family dynamic, and it's outside of your own personal family, that this could be where maybe you feel like you've had to carry, your family members through chaotic times. And it's time now to realize that maybe you need to shift a little bit of that back on them. Again, we kind of have to look at, we're all our own individual person, and we all have to be the people who take action in our own lives. We can't always expect others to carry our burdens for us. So if you have to kind of give back to another what they should have been their responsibility to begin with, that's where you can really free up this energy, I think, to allow you to kind of get in the fray and maybe take better action, more well-placed action towards yourself than maybe for another. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and pull a final card here for the concept of wealth. So when we're thinking of wealth, yes, this can be financial wealth, this can be physical abundance, but it can also be where you just feel you want to have more wealth. You want to feel wealthy if you had, let's say, more time or more love in your life or more of fill in the blank. So this is going to be obviously individual to each one of you. Okay, so we have never-ending story, number 37, breaking down to a 10, further breaking down to a 1. Now, the never-ending story card in this deck really speaks to, I mean, exactly what it is. It's like this never-ending story. You're always kind of going around and around and never being able to kind of escape this, some might say a karmic situation, or one where you feel like you're just never quite learning that lesson, that maybe you feel like you leave one relationship and then you get in a new one and the same thing happens. Or maybe you've been in a long-term relationship with somebody and you get past an issue and then it kind of comes back and rears its head. Or this can also be where one person wounded another person in the past and it's like the other person can't quite get over that. This would be like, well, one time, remember like 28 years ago, you cheated on me. Or one time, remember 5 years ago when you forgot my birthday. You're probably always going to forget my birthday. And you forget and it like is one of those things where it's like that story keeps coming back up. Now this could be around, just something deep, integral wounding that comes up from maybe your childhood, something that happened when you were younger, your parents ingrained something in you, and now you're playing it out in that wound out in your own love life or in what you choose to follow as a passion. But it's time, I think, to release that story. So when we're thinking about wealth, it's very hard for us to experience a wealth of love or a happy family or that amazing passion-based career path when we keep replaying a wound from the past that holds us back. It's almost like running a marathon, and every time we get to like the halfway point and we're starting to get a little bit closer to the end, to the finish line, we go ahead and we kick ourselves in the leg and blow out a knee for ourselves. Or we remember that time, the last time we tried to run the marathon, that we didn't make it and we just decide to stop. It's like, what's even the point? Or we decide not to support ourselves in a loving way and we don't drink any water. It's one of those things where we have to like allow ourselves to just lean in and keep going and to let go of the failures of the past or to let go of the wounding and kind of look at everything with fresh eyes. So what I'm feeling for you here, Gemini, it's like it's time to like get back out there and make that effort and do it from a place of true strength, of that strength that you're releasing all of these stories from the past, or you're or you're choosing to move past somebody else who is kind of stuck in this place, and you're just like, I'm gonna just keep taking action. You can do you, but I'm gonna do me. So let's go ahead and see some additional clarifiers here, Gemini, around never-ending story. The beautiful thing with the never-ending story, with the number 37 breaking down to a 10, but also harnessing the number 1, is that it's an ending and a beginning. So you have the chance to end the cycle. So we have Princess of Cups and Justice. Okay, so Princess of Cups is actually the Page of Cups in the regular traditional tarot. And the Page of Cups is one where we are almost like from the sense of, almost like the optimistic, innocent child of like holding up what we love out to the world in a very vulnerable way. This is kind of that rediscovery of ourself, what really fills our cup, what makes us feel good about life. But again, doing it in a way that's kind of like almost unpolished and vulnerable. And with Justice coming in, now Justice can be many things. This can be the cosmic balances, the cosmic that everything will balance in the end. This can also be around contracts. It can be around legal things that have happened. But I do get this feeling a little bit for you around, with Justice coming through, that there's wounding around that vulnerable part of yourself where you did kind of, it's almost like trying to go back to that innocent look at the world again, of expressing what you love and not being afraid that somebody's going to come in and trample it, or come in with a story that, you know, is going to wound that innocent part of yourself again. And with justice, there may be something around you making contracts. Now, this could be a soul-based contract where you've just decided in your mind on a soul level that you're going to stay with somebody because you just have committed to that. Or this can be an actual contract, a marriage perhaps, where you feel like, but I committed to this. I have a legal binding contract and we are married. And there's something around wounding around that you're in some type of contractual agreement where you keep trying to bring out this sweet, innocent part of yourself, and it's met, I think, with almost like hostility, or it's met with something else that is not, you know, it's like, imagine it's like a sweet little innocent child running up to you with something that they love, and they're like, look, I love this, like, isn't it amazing? And the person's like, that's awful, like, go away. It's that kind of wounding I feel coming through for you, Gemini. And that's really hard. Now, this could literally be a story that you've tied yourself to, that you've committed to. Like, there is this element with justice of commitment as well. Or, again, that somehow the balance is off, that you've put too much weight on one side of the scale. So this could be even where also maybe you know, really have been focusing on like the romantic side to life, and you have not been focusing on like the career side to life, and there's always an off balance. And then when you shift focus and you go to the career side, the love side falters. And it's one of these things where it's like you're being asked to get yourself back into alignment and release anything that you have, any commitment that you have or tied to something that doesn't allow you to express yourself from that place of true, innocent, vulnerable love. And that's really going to be where I think you're going to see that ultimately those scales will be balanced. But you first have to allow yourself to get past that wounding. I just want to pull a couple additional cards there, because this is it's an interesting message. So I'm going to pull. Let's see if anything else wants to come out. You know, it's these never-ending stories that really, you know, can hold us back from really, especially when you think about wealth. For those of you where this is like pursuing a passion that you deeply love, you know, changing a career path or something along those lines. This could be where you know, sat there at one point and expressed what you loved, and somebody else said, well, that's stupid. Like, no one wants that. Who would even want to do that? Yes, okay, judgment, wow. Yeah, so you guys have heard the call. There's something that has integrally changed within you, and that is going to break this cycle for you and rebalance the scales. There is something here that you've heard the call, and it's I really see, for those of you who really want to step into this place of feeling abundance in your life again, abundance on whatever level you want to feel wealthy in, that this is based around leaning into that vulnerability, the part of you that you feel maybe like that, basically your inner child, that innocent part of yourself that just has been wounded over and over and over again. And what you're being told is release that. You're being called now to either lean into a relationship, or being called in to lean into moving towards something you love, because it's part of your growth plan. Judgment really speaks to hearing the call. It's like time is now. The new you needs to come out. And if you can release the wounds of the past, this is actually part of that growth cycle for yourself, that now you can get past it. And this could be around a family dynamic. You know, maybe you were the one who has always carried the full burden, or maybe you were the other side. Maybe you didn't carry the full burden. But either way, I think there's some kind of cosmic circle around going back and getting to have a fresh, equal start in building in getting towards the happy family, or getting towards your 10 of Cups, which is just basically leaning into your kind of experience of heaven on earth and on an emotional level in this experience, which could be, again, working towards a passion project or switching to a career field that could make you feel like I'm getting out there and expressing myself, and I'm going to get into this competitively, and I'm not going to carry the weight for everybody else. Like, I'm just going to go out there and have fun and put my passion out there with everybody else. So really interesting reading here for you, Gemini. Actions speak louder than words. That's the big takeaway here. It's time to walk away from an old story, a wound, let it go, and lean into doing it a little differently this time. And I think you're going to see a big shift coming into May as we move into Taurus season. All right, Gemini, if you would like to book a personal reading, I do have openings available on my website. You can click on that in the description box below. I also have started, I do have a space now for one-on-one live readings outside of just doing them through video. So if you live in the Northern Virginia area, I'd love to sit for a reading with you. And you can message me if you want more information, but otherwise all the information is also on my website. And if you are interested, I do have more of an expanded reading on my YouTube channel for the month of May for each sign. It's the monthly illumination reading. I will be also changing that up a bit moving into May, as I will be including an extended, which will be available at an additional cost for each of those illumination readings. All right, Gemini, I will see you next month for your illumination reading if I don't see you for a personal one. Bye, guys.